Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, and I am here helping people to find their joy, to find that place in their life where their business is successful, but every other part of their life is successful as well, so that we have a sense of balance in our life. I know a lot of people don't subscribe to the idea of work life balance being a real thing, but I do believe that it is a real thing that exists if we are intentional about our actions and we redefine what success looks like. And so success is not just purely a measure of how much money you're making or what your title is, right? Success is how well are you doing at creating the life that you want? And sometimes that includes figuring out what that life looks like. So, today I want to talk to you about creating space that is conducive for growth. And last week I kind of, used the analogy of plants and flowers. We're talking about your season and how different things come up in different seasons. And I'm gonna put the disclaimer again today. I am not a green thumb. It's just a good analogy. So for those green thumbs out there, please give me grace and forgiveness on anything that I may be missaying, in using the analogy, because I'm not a green thumb. But a couple of things came up and I was trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go with this episode, and I couldn't make a decision. And so this was the best way, in my opinion, to combine those two things. So one thing that came up was just the idea of changing your scenery. So this week, I literally changed my scenery just to kind of, get fresh energy. And I was on a call last night, and one of the things that was discussed on the call was, the importance of changing your scenery to be able to better focus and um, to be open to what, new ideas and what's to come. So I know a lot of you are creatives in creative industries, and it is always helpful to switch it up, to switch up not just, your designs or your, thoughts in that regard, but to switch up your physical location. And it doesn't have to be, y'all know I like to get on a plane. It doesn't have to be going to a new place as far as a destination. It can be something as simple as, you know what, today I'm going to go work from a coffee shop as opposed to my regular office environment, or I may go sit outside for those of you that are not in, 400-degree weather right now. So it can be something as simple as I'm just going to go to a different place and let that place give me new energy, new life, new just renewal, or sometimes just shaking things up. It's just that is important that you are not always locking yourself into the same environment all the time. And sometimes that environment is not necessarily a physical location. It may be, and this is segueing into the second thing that I was thinking about, it may be the environment in which you are socializing. So it may be the community that you belong to. So maybe you need to explore some different communities, or maybe you don't feel like you have a community and you need to start building a community. And that community piece is so important and it's come up. It's funny because I don't often think about it in that way, but every time I'm working with somebody where I'm talking about my business. I'm working with a consultant right now. And when they echoed back to me what they heard me saying, they said, "You are all about community." And that's very true, but I guess I never thought about it in that way. But sometimes you need to change up what that looks like. Sometimes you need to change the energy of the community that you are a part of. You need to maybe get into a different community. And a lot of times that means changing your internal environment, because sometimes it's what's going on inside of us that is preventing us from creating community or from being fully present in community. So, one of the things that I like realized when I was in this, I said, I was telling you about I was on this call, and it was such a beautiful community of people that had a centralized goal, that were together working on that goal, and the energy was beautiful and pure. There was no pretense, there was no ego. It just was a pure community of people. And I can't say that every community that I'm a part of feels that way. I can't say that I've always felt that I had community like that exists. I definitely have that in other places besides this particular group of people, but I want to create that in more spaces, in more places, because it's something about that community that fosters growth. Because when you're in a community that's conducive to growth, then you are more likely to grow. And I know that may sound a little circular, but what I mean by that is I've been in groups before, in communities, group settings, where there was other stuff going on. So, there was um unhealed parts of people being triggered in community, right? And so because of that, it didn't lend itself for a space for growth, because either you're coming in with preconceived notions or your hangups, or you're assuming because you're this way that the person that's that way is making judgments about you, and they may or may not be making those judgments. That may be just the energy that you are carrying into the space. um Sometimes it may be someone else carrying an energy of, judgment, or energy of their own securities, playing off in a space. So in a particular, space, it could come from either way, but we have to be conscious of what we're bringing to the space. I've talked about that before in some previous episodes, but we have to be conscious of what we're bringing into the space, because we can't control what somebody else brings into the space, right? We can only come into the space the best version of ourselves and check ourselves when we feel like we're not presenting that version. That's all we can do. But what I know is the more genuine that you come into the space, the more um open, clear that you come into the space, the more you are going to attract other people who are like that. And the more you're going to create that community that is built for growth, that community that is aligned. Because just like your business having clarity of your messaging and your brand and all of that, just like that clarity brings client attraction, you having the clarity on who you are, what you bring to the table, you having worked on those insecurities or whatever it is that is holding you back from being genuine and open and really being your authentic self. You uncovering who your authentic self is, because sometimes we have been bogged down by so much of what other people have projected onto us that we don't even know anymore who we are at the core, right? So the more that you get to that place, the more that you will start to attract people that match that, because they see something in you that draws them. So we need to create spaces that are conducive for us to grow. We need to, change up the energy when it's not feeling right, when we feel off, when we feel unsettled, when we feel, in a funk. Sometimes it's just that we're in a funk. And we need to, change up that energy. We're not going to stay there. Sometimes we got to be there. Sometimes it's just life, and we got to be there. But how can we change the energy? How can we take a situation that is not feeling like growth and use that situation to fuel ourselves forward? And so a lot of that is switching things up. So go for a walk, go to, a place that you enjoy. It may be, a coffee shop. It may be going to sit in the library. It may be going, to get in touch with nature, whatever that looks like. And it may just be sometimes just doing something different. You don't even have to go like work in a different space. Maybe just doing something different. Maybe go and treat yourself to a nice lunch, even if it's just you, just doing something different than your everyday routine, so that you can allow yourself to create in a different way, to think in a different way, to just refresh yourself. And the same with your social environment. So maybe, pay attention to the people that make you feel settled in who you are, the people that challenge you, but not in a way that feels hard, if that makes sense. And I say that because many of the people in my community challenge me in the sense of, either I'm seeing them do great things and I'm like, oh, I need to up my game, or they are, they will say, you really need to do this. And some things stick and some things don't. It depends on what's in alignment with where I'm trying to go. But when that happens, and it happens in a community of growth, it doesn't feel icky. Like, it doesn't feel like when I see other people doing great things, it doesn't feel like competition to me. Like, it's not like, oh, I have to catch them. It's like, oh my God, I'm so proud of them. And it becomes an inspiration, as opposed to, I have to catch up with them. Because we run in different races, so we're not gonna catch each other. We're not gonna catch each other, but we are going to inspire each other for continual growth. So, what is it and where is it that you need to look into, switching things up and really getting yourself in a position to continue to excel, to continue to grow, to let go of whatever those insecurities may be that are holding you back? Because sometimes what we need to do is, what we need to realize is some of that is just all up here. It's all in your head. Some of it is just really all in your head. That other person is not thinking the thing that you think that they're thinking. And the right people make you feel comfortable to be you, to just be you. So, what's that space? What does it look like? What can we let go of so that we can be open in the space? Because, I've seen, I'm a part of a lot of communities, and I know people that are at different stages of building community. And one of the things that I've seen, and, that I really want us to look at and check in ourselves, I know I have to check it in myself, is that knee-jerk response to, feel like, that doesn't apply to me. I got that. That doesn't apply to me. A lot of times I'll have conversations about different things because I work with my clients on some difficult things, and everybody can think of somebody who needs it, but not me. And sometimes it's you, because if you can't be fully open, honest, transparent about where you are, what's going on, then it's you. It's you. You have to be able to sit with that. And, there again, this is a journey, it's a process. There are different versions of myself that have evolved. And this version of myself, I've never done this before. That was something that, came up on the call. Like, well, what typically happens? I don't know, because I've never done this before. And I feel comfortable saying that out loud because I know that what I'm doing is something that I am charged to do, that I was given as an assignment to do. And I know that I am capable of doing it, but I also know that I've never done it before. And I can be open, honest, transparent, that I've never done it before. Because one, I feel safe in my community, but two, I'm working on me and I feel comfortable in just being me. And I feel like if being me and being honest as me doesn't doesn't feel right, then I need to change my environment. I need to change my environment, because any environment that requires me to not be honestly and truthfully me, it's not meant for me. It's not meant for me. So that is an undue stress that we put on ourselves to try to live up to some standard, some expectation that is not ours to live up to. It is for us to be the best versions of ourselves. And that best version does not require us to be dishonest about who we are. So change up your environment. Find an environment that is conducive for your growth. If, Again, I'm gonna just dabble and jump back out of this plant thing because it's not my thing. But there are certain environments I can remember talking to a plant enthusiast about some of the plants that we had, and they said, "Yeah, we can't grow those where we live because of the cold weather, and so they will only last for a short time because the weather is cold." So that's not the right environment for that thing. It's not that something is wrong with you. You just might not be in the right environment. And, as far as physical, sometimes we get in funk, sometimes we get stuck or stagnant. Switch it up. Switch up your environment. It will switch up your energy and it will give you an opportunity to grow in a different way, to think in a different way, to stretch yourself in a different way. So let's switch up our environments, both social, physical, mental. Let's switch up our environments and see what beautiful things that we can grow when we are willing to move around because, even though we are on a growth journey, we are not plants. We don't have to stay. We don't have to stay in one place. We are able to move around. We're able to do the things that we need to be successful. We're able to change it up. And again, I know a lot of you are creative, so you know what it's like to remix it and change it up and bring something fresh to a situation that may seem like, it's been done before. Everything that can be done, it's been done. But then every once in a while, you see something come out and you say, oh, wait, look at that. That's interesting. And that new thing sparks your creativity and gets you in a different space. So that's the other reason why, on the social side, meet new people because they may bring new energy to your space as well. So that is what I have for you guys for today. Just updates on the workflow side of things. If you are a part of the workflow private group, we are doing a lunch and learn tomorrow, talking about what it looks like to create your schedule for the day as a entrepreneur, solopreneur. Um, you know, team or no team, just what does it look like to create your schedule for the day? Because I know a lot of people have asked about that. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? So let's, dive into that tomorrow, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. And if you're not a member of the group, go and join the group. It's workflow, and so that you can be a part of that event. What else is going on? We're still enrolling through the 20th for the Business Owners Academy. So that's the Own Your Business Academy. I'll put the link in the show notes. And that is going to be a 6-month semester each month, diving into a different topic around business knowledge and business education from, branding, marketing, pricing, all of those different things we're going to touch on to make sure that you are, solid in that foundation of your business. The other thing that we are enrolling for is we're doing an automation workshop that is going to be starting on August the 1st. And that is going to be diving into your systems and your automation and making sure that you are having that business work for you as opposed to you doing every single thing every single time. So making your processes and your systems and your making your processes more efficient so that you're not spending so much time working in the business that you're not able to work on the business. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well so you can get more information about any of those things. And finally, the Success Journal is out and on Amazon. I get so excited, like every time I talk to different people in my community and they're talking about they got their copy or their copy is on the way. So I'm very excited about that. And just, tying that back to this episode, that is another way of getting, changing up your environment mentally, because sometimes we are so stuck on the things that may be going wrong at the moment that we don't realize how much is going right. So being able to journal that and chronicle that and go back and read through that is absolutely amazing, so that you can really see, what, things aren't going as bad as I think. There may be some issues, but I'm still on the right track to be successful and do all of the things that matter to me. So that's, I think, everything that's going on. If not, make sure you're on the mailing list so you can get updates of all the different things that are going on in the workflow community. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.